Okay, we'll call the meeting to order for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. If everyone will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can we have the roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Drumheller?
Present.
Ms. Webster?
Here.
Mr. Morrow?
Here.
Ms. White on Zoom?
Here.
And Mr. Halloran?
Here.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, if I could, Mr. Dinsey requested a waiver or
An excused absence
tonight.
Okay, so Mr. Renzi is excused tonight. Thank you. And our alternate member, Daniel, we'll reach out to him for the next meeting. That'll be good. Okay, so announcements and agenda modifications. There's two things that I would like to put under new business. I would like to talk about the Whisper Glide wheelchair access. Maybe put that as item E under 8. And item F, I had a community member contact me about some benches that are out in front of Krabby Bill's to possibly be relocated, so we can maybe have a discussion about that on the benches that are there.
And Madam Chair, if I could add 2 items. Update on the bike maps that are around the city. There's one right here on the corner that gives directions for bikes, for pedestrians on how to get around.
Okay.
Give an update on that, and also on the Born Learning Trail. An update on the Born Learning Trail.
So that will be under new business or unfinished?
New business.
Okay. So we have items E, F, G, and H. Okay. Then we can introduce our new members. Mr. Halloran is a new alternate member, and he's stepping in for Mr. Renzi, so we'll have voting privileges tonight. And can you give us a little bit about you? You're on the air.
Yeah, my name is Paul Halloran. My wife Donna and I moved here about 10 years ago. We fell in love with the city right away. We love the size of the city. And retired Navy reserves. I spent 20 years. And after that, I was in nursing. And I just recently retired from nursing. So that gave me some extra time, so I thought I would be able to try and give back to this wonderful community. So thank you for asking.
We are happy to have you here. Then we'll move to item 5, the approval of minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review them? Are there any changes?
I will make a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. We have a second. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the minutes are approved without any changes. Agenda modification. Oh, I'm on the wrong agenda. I'm on the last one. So now we'll go to public input. Is there anybody on Zoom? Because no one's here.
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you so much. And item number 7, unfinished business, our current project updates.
Advisory Board, the Riverview Park planning continues. As you know, many of you participated in the public charretting that we did, so that process continues. I think the next milestone will be sometime this fall to bring back a concept plan for review and approval or comment.
Are we done with all the public meetings until that point?
Yes.
Till the fall? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then item 2, the Bryant Court Playground replacement. We've received some designs that we'll bring to you closer to when we we know exactly what we're going to be doing, which will probably be the next meeting to get your input on. And then there's an item under new business that could have effect on Bryant Court as well. But we're well ahead of the game in getting the design, the draft design. So we're bringing that to you in July. The backstops at Barber Street, we have a contract with a design firm to design them and permit them. So now it's a timing game between when the design can get done, when we can go out to bid, and when we can fit it in, hopefully before their next spring season, which would start in January. So we'll have a tight window to get it done, but that's our timeline, is to get it done by next season. And then if you watched the last council meeting, there was some discussion about amendments to the special event policy as it relates to third-party for-profit producers. So staff is going back and discussing, making sure whatever language we put in is meets code or meets constitutionally what we need to meet in order to give clear direction to those producers that want to, at some point, will want to come to Sebastian and produce an event for profit. I can tell you, though, from my experience, we need to think about the language really thoroughly, because those type of events can get out of hand quickly. So
The for-profit events. Yeah. So
I have a question.
okay, Ms. White.
I did watch that council meeting, and they had mentioned something about Parks and Rec committee being involved in that. Is that going to happen, or is it mainly up to your office for Parks and Rec deciding yes or no on some of those?
I'm sure we would bring it back to this body to review. The reason why there was no action at that meeting is they want to make sure that legally we're in line and want to have the language correct and legal. But then we would bring it back here for your review.
So at this point, I also watched the meeting, and I think my takeaway was that the Parks and Rec staff, in conjunction with the city attorney, are going to put together a document that will then come back to this committee, that will then go to the city council. Is that correct?
And it'll be an amendment of the code, so it'll have to go to, I believe it will have to go to
Have public
hearing.
comment.
Yeah.
And is it for what's going to be allowed in the park? And
In Riverview, yeah.
Or anywhere, any of our parks,
any of the
In-
parks?
any of our facilities. It'd be a blanket policy for all of our facilities.
And
So-
are they looking at increasing quite a bit the fee to be able to use the park then?
That's an option. For the for-profit, events, that is an option.
Okay. And what kind of timeline are we looking at? Do you know?
We meet on this Thursday, I think.
All right. So maybe by the next meeting, we can get some feedback?
Possibly.
Okay, thank you.
We had they did raise the rates a lot, right?
We raised the
Or-
rates for general event, like for the the not-for-profit. We raised that maybe a year ago, a little over a year ago.
If you haven't seen that portion of the city council meeting on the YouTube channel, you can kind of I wish I could remember what point in the meeting.
It was the last item, or the next to last item.
Okay, so you can like go all the way till maybe the last 20 minutes of the meeting, because there was a fairly extensive discussion with the city councilors and public input too about for-profit people which takes away, the park for our recreation and for some of the damages that get done and all the other facets that happen with a for-profit where there's no control. And I think there was a couple of events that people were so unhappy with that there was a lot of scuttlebutt. So we'll hear more about that.
Was that the last meeting?
It was the last meeting.
Thanks.
Also, we had talked about how much usage the park is getting. So that might help in that also.
Right, if you look at the board item, I listed all the not-for-profit and city events that go on there. And that's a very busy facility, very busy.
So, so we'll hear more about that.
Yes.
We'll hear more about that. And let's just can we make sure that that's an agenda item? Because I think that if there is, if it's necessary to have public comment, then I think that if we can all get notified before that, so if we want to attend, that we could attend those meetings too. If we can
Well,
get
it'll come here first.
Oh, okay, all right. Joanne, do you have anything else under unfinished business that you're questioning?
No.
Okay. So item B is committee park updates. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about is we have two members, Mr. Denise and Mr. Allen was given a position on the police retirement board. So he is no longer going to be an alternate on Parks and Recreation. You can only serve on one committee at a time. So we have some, I have the park list, believe it or not, I carry it with me. So we do have some parks to assign out. And I don't know if, I think before we just throw parks at Paul, I think we also want to get Daniel here. I don't think it's critical that we do it tonight, but can we get this most current schedule sent out to the committee and the alternates? And so they can see, do you have a copy of this?
I'm sure there's,
Okay, if you don't, you can just
Mr.
email
Benton
me and I'll
has
get
one
it to you.
somewhere.
And we can mark up the parks. So one of the things we do as committee members is take ownership of 2 or 3 parks and visit them. And during the month in between our meetings, if you see like red ants or a hazard or something, then you can email or call. You can call Richard. You can send an email. And they usually take care of things pretty readily and get back to us. So it just kind of helps keep another set of eyes on the parks, which is really worthwhile. So can we put a park assignment on the next agenda for the July meeting also? Okay. Sure. Can you put your mic on? Oh,
Nope.
no, it's not. Now it is.
It's red, it's on.
Now it is. All right. I have no light over here. Back to unfinished business. Richard, on the Park Memorial Program
Yes, sir.
from last month, you put
That's-
that off to,
Well, it's still being reviewed. That's turned out to be a very comprehensive, potentially very comprehensive program. So
so you're not ready to update us?
not ready to
Okay.
roll it out yet.
Great, thank you.
Does anyone have park updates? Do you have anything you want to say about yours, Joanne? And you just like them all, right? At this point, I don't have any updates either on my parks. And Joanne, you have anybody watching your parks while you're up in Alaska?
Oh, yes, I do. And just got feedback, and couple people actually use the park quite often. They said everything looks good.
Good, thank you. The next item C is the upcoming events, which would be the July 4th parade.
We're about 10 days away. So we have the parade that starts at 9 a.m. on the 4th. Then after the parade, we go right into the Freedom Fest. And then the end of the night, around 9 o'clock, we have the fireworks. So we're prepared for a busy day of activities, and staff has been planning and getting ready. So we're fastly approaching the
It's always a good time on the 4th. Are the fireworks still between the two piers? 9 p.m.
around 9 p.m.
plus or minus?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be busy there. Is there anything, anybody have any questions about July 4th? All right, so we'll move to item number 8, new business. Item A.
The council has an expectation of reports from their advisory boards. So ours is due July 10th. Now, July happens to be Parks and Recreation Month as well, which has been probably 50 years has been recognized. July has been recognized as Parks and Recreation Month by our national organization. So I would like for the board to prepare a report of what's been done over the last 12 months. I'll get some specifics for you on exactly what they're looking for. But it just, in my understanding, is just a general report of accomplishments. So it would be things like creative playground and then whatever else that we were able to get done over the last year. And we'll present that report on the 10th at the same time that we celebrate Parks and Recreation, July's Parks and Recreation Month.
So I've never heard of that before. I've been here for a little while.
July's Parks and Recreation
I
Month?
never heard
No.
that, and I never been here when we had to have a report either.
Well, yeah, I think that's new. I
Oh,
think the
okay.
report
I was like,
issue is
what?
new. But I will, and I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive it's fairly new. But I'll find out the specifics that that we need to provide and send it out to the board. And we need to have a Zoom meeting or conference call or something, or even get together to prepare it, or we can figure out the logistics on how we get the report
Yeah.
prepared.
That's not very long
No.
to create a report.
Yeah.
So maybe we should have a meeting.
Well, I think it would be bullet points of the accomplishments, like the parks that we've altered over the past 12 months. We've had lots of discussion about pickleball. We've had a lot of people come and talk about that. So I think it's many of the council members get to see our meetings. I know that many of them watch them from home. So I think it's just a bullet point. It's
More
almost
than
like
likely.
it's more going through the minutes and acknowledging what we recommended up and what actually happened, and the playgrounds that have new equipment. And just I wish I had a format. Can you get us a format?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'll find out exactly what, and if it's just bullets, what maybe I can put it together and send it to the board to bless, and we do it that way.
It's a great idea.
I think I think it's a good idea too.
Keep in mind, I was here, and I can get Antoine and Mr. Benton involved too, but I just want to make sure we capture everything, not just.
Yeah, I was just thinking if I have 12 months of minutes, because I don't even think I probably keep like 4 months and then I start disposing of them. Or can I go
we
on
have
the,
them.
can I go, well, I
They're
know you
online.
do, but
They're online.
if I went on the agenda, could I go back a year?
You can go back like 5 years.
Okay. Because I would go through minutes. I wouldn't mind doing some of that. So reach out to me. I'm more than
But
happy to help
please
with that.
plan on the July 10th, everybody being here if you can make it, so the board can be recognized as a part of
July
Parks and
10th,
Recreation
I'm
Month.
sorry, is that our meeting or? a
That's the
that's
city
the
council
council
meeting.
meeting.
Okay. So that'll be
Like,
Wednesday.
oh, I'll bring some cookies or something. No, never mind.
Well, that would be okay too. We'll sit in the back. Okay, so we'll put that together. And did you want to say more about July as Parks and Recreation Month?
No, ma'am, that's
That's integral.
yeah. There will be a resolution that night. We're doing a little video on Wednesday that will be on social media during the month of July, just touting Parks and Recreation, but mostly the value and the quality and the extent of parks we have in Sebastian. And I'm amazed by it.
Yeah.
Have you made the video yet? Or are you
Wednesday.
going to?
Wednesday.
You might want to think about grabbing some locals and doing an interview even, or comments from people
I'll
about the
pass that
parks,
on.
because
Yeah.
we hear that all the time about one of the positive things about Sebastian is the great parks that we have. So that might be a thought.
Yeah. Good thought. Good idea.
Item, we forgot B, we have ACD.
No, that was my
But that's
Scribner's error.
Friendship Park Playground.
I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that we have had to close that playground, which is back here.
Right over here.
It was, it's over 20 years old, and it's just gotten into a condition that was not safe. We do have it scheduled to replace in 26, but we may be in a position where we can replace it sooner, about the same time that we do Bryant Court. So I just want to let you know that it's closed.
Do we have an opportunity, because I know we have like a schedule of each park as they need replacement. If Friendship was in awful shape, can we switch one out and put Friendship earlier?
Unfortunately, I mean, we could, but I think Bryant Park is almost just as
Just as bad?
bad a shape. So, we would evaluate that before we do any final decision.
I don't spend much time here. Which park has the better utilization from your experience?
Well, this playground is next to the Boys and Girls Club, so it probably gets more use than Bryant
Yeah.
Park does.
I have a thought too. Isn't there how much room is there at Friendship Park for a playground? Is it a large area to replace that we have?
I would say it's small. No, it's
Okay.
nowhere near Creative. It's probably a quarter the size of Creative.
Would it be something like the Easy Street Park size?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. So item E, I sent this out to everyone. I don't know if you got the email with the picture of this glider. Did you get that? Okay. So this is, well, you didn't get it because you're not on the distribution. So when I went to Michigan and I saw this and I fell in love with, but I found out we have one at which park?
Creative.
At the Creative Playground.
On the south side, where the poured in place material is, there's a ramp there that leads right up into the glider.
Oh, that's the double glider.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is a little different from that. And then I found a price for it because from this Whisper Glide wheelchair accessible. But when I saw this, what I was thinking about is, as we talk about the area across from Harbor Lights, that we were talking about putting some gliders or chairs. And since there are a lot of older people that go there and park and want to see something, that the glider is so cool because the ramp comes down, you don't have to have someone help you, you put the wheelchair on it, and when the other person glides, it moves the wood under them, so the wheelchair is gliding to the tune of the other one. And I just thought I wanted everyone to see it and keep it in the back of your mind as we talk about what we're going to place near the water, because we do have an awful lot of handicapped kids and handicapped older adults that would be really nice near the waterfront. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Can I ask, the glider at the Creative Playground, does it have a cover on it?
Does that have what?
Does it have a cover?
No, ma'am.
It's kind of, have you been to the Creative
I
Playground?
have not been there yet.
So it's actually where the slides are and everything comes down. There's one side, and there's a ramp that you can bring a wheelchair up. So but it's not like standalone, like you have to go in and look at it. That's why when you said Creative Playground, I was trying to picture it, but it is a really cool glider, and it's getting a lot of use. But that's just something, another, device to think about as we're putting together the seating for that. And then I had,
I have a question about that. Does it, when you're getting on and off of it, is it moving? Does it move
no,
or is it
so I wish that I had a wheel. I wish when I saw it that I had a wheelchair so that I could take a little video of it. So there's two little levers on the side that you pull down, and that makes the ramp that you push the wheelchair up onto. And when you bring the wheelchair up into the middle in front of the glider that's a regular glider, it's a piece of board that actually moves back and forth. When you set the wheelchair and someone's sitting in the other glider, that motion pulls it back, kind of like the seesaw effect. And so when you're going to take someone off, they get out of the glider, the push glider, which stabilizes the piece of wood that the wheelchair is on, and then you bring them back down the ramp.
but
If you can visualize that.
If you don't have a wheelchair, though, you could sit on it. Can you still glide?
You can glide. You could glide without a wheelchair, but that's what it's used for. They have
Right.
they have other two people gliders for people that want to sit on each side, like a seesaw. So this is specifically for someone in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We need to keep that thought. I think it's a good idea.
No, it's just another thing to keep in our head. Well, it's
Yeah.
always nice when we get to choose some stuff to have some options. So,
Yeah, thank you.
so the other thing is I had a message from one of our city residents that wanted to see if potentially the cement benches that are in front of Krabby Bill's, if there was any way that they could be moved to where the new bathroom is, because there's nowhere for people to sit down around that bathroom or wait for someone or wait to get in, and they're at Krabby Bill's and they're already there. So it was just a question to take a peek at for using what we already have. And now you have a couple of items.
And I think it was Ms. White that brought it up a few meetings ago about the maps that used to be, the bike and pedestrian maps that used to be, I know there's one at Barber Street, there's one right out here on Main Street, there's several throughout the city. The Public Works Sign Shop was able to reproduce those maps, so they've all been replaced.
I saw the new ones when I was walking at Riverview Park. And I was like, did I wear new glasses today or what? But all of the things that were faded out, now it's fabulous. I love it.
Keith with the sign shop did an amazing job, but I just want to let you know that those have been replaced, and it looks very good.
What kind of material do they have over it? Is it going to be like every so many years replacement because of fading?
Well, it's a vinyl material. I mean, time will tell how long it's going to last, but I'm pretty confident it'll last longer than that initial material did.
And do you know how many signs we have?
I do not.
Okay.
I believe we ordered. He made 8.
And I
but I'm
think
not
there's
sure that-
4 at Riverview Park, between the one at the little observation deck, and then they have 2 going along the walk. They look great, Joanne. You'll be really pleased when you see them.
Okay.
Scott
Thank you.
Sims put in a lot of work when he did that. He was working on that.
Well, it's nice. It was almost, you wanted to either see them taken down or actually have signs, because they were useless. They were so sun faded. You couldn't really tell what was on them. So that's good. Yay, good news.
And then the second item is we've been approached by the United Way of Indian River County to partner with them for a program they call Born Learning Trail. There's 2 in Vero Beach. There's one in Fellsmere. This one will be at Easy Street Park, and basically it is along a sidewalk or a trail. It's educational stuff for kids to do as they're walking. as they're playing um, math related or those type of things, cognitive stuff. So that'll be going in October 26th. It is I think FPNL is partnering with United Way to do that, but it will be at Easy Street Park. And it looks,
I have a question. Is this like when you're walking around the park on the sidewalk, there's
Yes.
activities? It's
Yes.
not just in the playground?
no, it's not on the playground, it's on the sidewalk.
So is it a guided
Yes,
activity?
it is.
So
Signage.
with little signs and something to do, almost like the parks that have the stations that you do
Right.
exercises in? And is United Way, what is their partnership with us? What are they
They're going to
doing?
put it in our park.
They wanted
Yeah.
to put it in the park.
Yeah.
Is it safe sidewalk
Oh,
on
yes.
Easy Street?
It's very safe.
It's on the inside of the sidewalk?
It'll be on the yes.
So are they doing the activities on the sidewalk or do they have to go into the grass?
There's a little bit of both.
And the
Is there any
sidewalk
way
around the
we can
pond, right?
see, oh, sorry.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Is there any way
Go
we
ahead,
can
Ms. White.
see, is there any way we can see what kind of activities those are? I'm always hesitant about putting too much stuff in a park. But I'd like to see what the activities are.
I can
Or
email the
is there-
board the video if you would like.
That would be great. I'd like to see that.
But they're not actually going to be in the park. It's going to be outside of the park,
No,
surrounding
it's
it.
it's inside the
It's in-
it's inside.
That's what I was
the-
asking. It's the
Inside the
walk
sidewalk.
around
The walkway
pond.
around
Right,
it.
right.
Okay.
And are they on posts? Is it like on a post that they have? Maybe just send the video. We can go through it. Is this a for sure for Easy Street or is this?
Yeah, I mean, it would seem to be the most logical park because it's a lot of room, a lot of kids in that area. It can be right in front of the play or right across from the playground. So it just made sense to go to Easy Street versus Barber Street or Riverview where it would be very busy all the time.
Yeah,
And
I
is
think
it
we'd all be
be-
interested in. So if you send us the video and then once you see the video, if you have comments, just send it back.
Mhm.
So
Is
this,
it BORN, like born?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the, okay. Thank you.
And you've already made this,
Pardon?
it's already been decided that we're going to do this with the.
Well, I mean, we got until October. If we change facilities, that's not a big deal. But we looked and thought about this for quite a while before we felt like Easy Street was the best place. Everything included.
there's been a lot of discussion
Yeah.
about this. So do you know what Vero Parks already have this?
I don't remember I know there's two. I don't remember the name of their parks. And then there's the one in Fillsmere, the Little League Park that has it there.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, you may.
Okay, for something like this, I would like that maybe it comes to us as a committee, just so we have a heads up or have some feedback on this. That's just how I feel. And I know you guys do a great job, but I just think sometimes maybe we do need to have some input on some of the things going in the parks. If you can send the video, that would be great.
So I think, Joanne, I kind of feel like I'd like to see it too. So why don't we all make an effort to look at the video and put it as an agenda item on our July, at our July meeting where we all have an opportunity to comment on how we feel about it. And if possible, I'm local and I'm in Vero all the time. I'd love to know where they already have it. I'd be more than happy to take a peek. And oh, you want some pictures too? Okay. Well, the video, it's going to be. This is something they duplicate.
I think the video's from the Fellsmere facility.
Okay.
So Fellsmere is just right out there on the left, the Little League field.
Mhm.
I'll take.
Oh,
a
is
ride
that
out
where
there
it
over
is?
the weekend.
Oh,
It's
okay.
closer.
All right, the Fellsmere, that would be good. That's even easier. Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. Does anyone else have anything they want to say? Miss White, or do you have any comments
Yes.
before? Go ahead.
Yes. How many new members did we get? Just one person?
We have two. So we have two new alternates on our committee, and you are extended for another 2 years. Mr. Morrow is now moved from an alternate member to a member. And we have Mr. Halloran, who's here tonight, and Daniel Abrajo, I think, and he's not here tonight as alternate members, but we will, I asked also if we could all get the advisory committee, the update with the new members and the information in the terms, and we can get that email to everybody.
Okay, and also, because we do have new people, we usually do a review of the sunshine law and also explain to members or refresh on how our Parks and Rec budget works and how monies go into zones. I think that's something that's really important that we need to do. So I don't know if that needs to be all of us. Maybe it's not a bad thing to have refresher on those. But sooner than later for the sunshine law and for, especially, when does the budget come back up again? What month
Soon.
is that?
Very soon.
Okay.
We
budget.
do budget hearings July 11th and 12th.
Okay, and is there any way that you can email us the budget that is part of our Parks and Rec so we can see what's on there? Because that should also come up to us for some feedback.
Well, that should be in a July meeting after your budget talks, correct? Won't we
Right,
be get?
right, it'll be after the 12th.
So
Okay.
on our next committee meeting, we should have that as an agenda item, Joanne, because we don't get it till after they do their 3 days of talks.
Okay, and that's good, but I do the sunshine and how our Parks and Rec budget works because it's kind of different with the zones and the neighborhoods and money and where does the money come from? So I'm just thinking that we need to do that.
I asked several months ago, but the city attorney was new, for us to have a review. And there was kind of an initiative that there was going to be a sunshine law review for each of the committees, but our committee has not seen that happen yet. And I know there's a slideshow. I don't know, and I know that Jeanette had some handouts when I got, and you got them, right? So our new alternate member has them in his hand now. They do, but I do think that sometimes I agree with you that there should be some discussion about what the expectation is in relation to the committee agenda and what we do. So I don't know.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a hands-on talk to me person than giving somebody a flyer to read or something because sunshine's pretty important. And then also with the budget, going through that, and I don't know if we need to have whoever is going to be addressing the budget also go through that and explain how the budget works because that's pretty important also.
Yeah, and we do that every year because we've always had budgets that we've gone line item by line item through since I've been on the committee.
We have also the budget that goes out for several years. What's been,
So once it
That's the
gets to a
budget.
point after council review, we can schedule at one of our, I don't know if it'd be ready by the July meeting, but definitely by the August meeting to go over it.
And I know that because there's been so much build.
One minute, Ms. White. Oh, so we will have an opportunity to go over line item by line item with you of the Parks and Recreation budget before it goes to final review by council. Correct. Okay.
Yes.
And also, there has been so much building going on in Sebastian, and I'm failing for the word, impact. So the impact fees on these structures and houses does make an effect on our budget for Parks and Rec. So it'll be interesting to see how much monies are coming in. And also explaining to new members about the gated communities and how they are not impacted completely by the impact fees, what kind of things they do in their communities. So it's just a good review, I think, for everybody anyway, if we can go and do that.
I think we'll have a pretty long meeting when we get the budget. That's because all of us want to go through that. And do we have a new budget or accountant now? Oh, boy. Okay. All right, so thank you we did get some of the Volunteer of the Year nomination forms. Thank you so much.
And it is on the website, and it has been on social media.
Have you received any
We
nominations?
haven't had any nominations
Okay.
as of today.
I'm gonna get on that, but I wanted to kind of wait till after the 4th of July for some of these groups that are especially people participating in the parade at this point. So anybody have any other comments for the good? If not, this meeting is adjourned. Push the button.